Alrighty.
Nick.
Guys, a very warm and absolutely heartfelt welcome from myself and the entire team over at the farm, getting into another weekend. Very excited to be bringing you episode 4 of Knockoffs with Nick. I'm of course your host Nick and Brand Ambassador here at the farm. Very excited to be bringing to you a selection of wines as we head into this weekend, which I'm sure that you're going to be pumped with. These are the second part of our experience for those who have been tasting along at home for the beautiful selected and exclusive tasting pack. We're absolutely live out there again, obviously to the Instagram sphere, to Facebook, and of course later on YouTube as well. Keeping in mind, of course, all things questions from you guys. This is a taste along experience. I do need to just check, as we have in the last couple of weeks, can everyone hear, can everyone see, is everyone okay at this particular stage in time? Can I get a let's have a drink by somebody if they are listening at the moment? Just one person would be great. Let's have a drink. I'm going to go with it.
Yep, absolutely.
We've got it? Yep. Excellent. So please feel free to question wherever you are listening or watching around the world. We've gone as far as Canada. I think we did Japan as well. If anyone's further than that, even if you're completely lying to us, I want to hear from you. But we'd love to hear either way. But this week's episode is a big one. Of course, we've gone from winemaking, we've gone into viticultural management, we've gone out to the restaurant to see what's happening out there. But of course, this week we have a man who needs no introduction. It is, of course, the man of 1,000 tales himself, our owner and founder, Keith Hentschke. Keith, thank you very much for joining us today.
Pleasure, Nick. Great to be involved.
Yes.
Got a few stories.
Yeah, oh mate, I'm super pumped for this one. This is going to be a good one. So let's get straight into our wines, I reckon, today. So for those who are tasting along at home, you should have 2 wines in front of you. You should have the beautiful 2018 Shiraz on the left-hand side, and of course the Zinfandel, the 2017 vintage on the right-hand side. We're actually going to go a little bit outside of the usual tasting today. We're going to go the Shiraz first. Keith, if we can, obviously, you know, we've got some beautiful varietals here on our estate. Tell me, what exactly makes this particular Shiraz from our farm range such a distinctive wine?
Firstly, Nick, I was a bit confused. You said we want someone further than Canada. I'm trying to work out where that is.
Well, I think they were Vancouver, so I'm thinking we might actually go out to the other side. And I believe we actually have someone over here. There's a question actually straight off the bat there, Keith.
Well, we do actually have someone who is giving us a bit of a tip where he's from.
Go on.
So this is a comment here from Werner. G'day, Keith. It's a bit.
Good old Werner. Hey.
So he's a bit.
Wow, that's a surprise. Hope you're well, mate.
It's a bit early here for a red on a Friday morning in Denmark.
Yeah. No, you win, Werner.
See, there you go. Answer question solved.
Yeah.
So we're getting into the Shiraz. Tell us, yes, well, I can't believe we beat that straight off the bat. That was perfect. Timing is unbelievable.
So we'll get into further about why Shiraz, right? Pretty obvious, right?
Yeah.
Not the biggest rocket scientists on earth to realise we should be planting Shiraz here.
In the Barossa.
In the Barossa. But you know, to me, for me, it's a palate.
Yeah.
And I'm a palate guy. I do like aromatics.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of our wines, the aromatics will come. You know, these are wine for aging.
Yeah.
Even don't be fooled by the price point. You don't think these are wines that age well.
Yeah.
And we'll get aromatics in time. So I'm really looking for what I enjoy is the palate. So we're looking for complexity.
Yeah.
We're looking for decent, voluptuous weight of fruit.
Yeah.
Something. I can taste that, particularly with Shiraz in terms of that style.
Yeah.
We're looking for some structure of tannin that you go, well, hang on. And the thing I love about what our vineyard does is produces wonderful, you know, typically soft, grainy tannin.
Yeah.
That you go, hey, there's some structure there, some seriousness about this wine, right?
Yeah.
But it's not overpowering.
Yeah.
I can drink it. And then you look at the finish of the wine, that is, hey, it's easy to drink. You know, some of these terms aren't too complex.
No.
It's easy to drink, right?
That's it, exactly.
And my ideal wine is a wine that you start drinking one glass, and when the 5th glass is gone, and you turn the bottle upside down, you go, I wish there was another one, right? That to me is when you made a good wine.
Absolutely. So for those who are tasting along, obviously at home with us at the moment, what should they be looking for in this particular style of wine? Is there something particularly that you wanted to get from the estate specifically?
Yeah, so this is, and we have changed our style slightly. And Andrew is obviously he's just amazing in what he does.
Certainly is.
And he's gradually made this. We're headed towards slightly more vibrancy. So this is some freshness about this style compared to some maybe where we get to the beast. It'll be more. No, we're not necessarily need freshness. We've got some power.
Yeah.
So it looks for some vibrancy of fruit. You'll see that. So sometimes you can't see through our wines, right? You can just sort of see a little bit.
It's a little bit
right?
of a tinge,
So it's not too overpowering in density. Vibrancy, relatively light on the palate, but still gives you that tannin, that structure, and that balance, and that complexity.
Yeah. And so, sorry.
No, I was going to say, and obviously rich berry flavours, right? They're going to, that's why we ended up being here.
Of course.
To enjoy those rich berry flavours, and there's plenty of them still there.
Definitely. So if you've just actually joined us, we're here with owner and founder Keith Hentschke, obviously the man behind the brand, so to speak. We're just talking about our 2018 Shiraz from our farm range. We've got a question actually straight off the bat there as well. Angus?
Yeah, we've got Jared Tyerman, who's actually enjoying a Shiraz right now as well, joining us along. So he's definitely in for the ride. So joining you boys for today's tasting.
Excellent. And it was a big birthday last week as well for Jared. He got a big shout out last week, which was very good. Okay, awesome. So we're having a look at the Shiraz. And is it from one particular pocket of the estate, or is it a couple?
And we'll get to the estate in a bit more in a second. Maybe we'll talk about that. But this is a blend of blocks. Yeah. We when I was there in Ali, when we found this place, we worked with other agricultural scientists and viticulturists, and we mapped out the various property into different blocks, and this is a blend of blocks. And it varies, 5, 7 blocks, depending on the year. And so the great thing about this gives you a real feel for this estate. Yeah. Now, nothing not from this estate. This is all from this wonderful patch of dirt. Yeah.
It's the aromatics, as you're talking about, are incredibly lifted, are incredibly vibrant. And I guess to find an estate-grown Shiraz at this level, and I'll say it's under $30, represents, incredible value for what you're obviously getting with that as well. So
yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum, really, in terms of from this estate. We obviously produce wines which are 60, 70, the Beauty and Beast, etc. Yeah. What do you do? There's a little bit of wine left over, obviously, not from these single blocks. Yeah. We think it's well worth $50 plus. Yeah. But we've got wines like that, so that's why we make it a bit more affordable.
Definitely. So the name of the show today is all about Humble Beginnings, of course. Your Humble Beginnings, I guess, specifically. Can you tell us how you became the founder of Hentley Farm, in your words specifically, I guess?
Yeah, in fact, I get surprises for calling me humble.
I think it's a great story.
Funny if people wouldn't say that, but let's run for that now, right? Let's keep going down. Let's keep going down that path. Look, let me get in the Hentschke family with a T. Yes. You may have noticed. We're one of the first 26 families to settle the process. So my family has a long heritage back here, right? Yeah. We are it. Yeah. And they foolishly left the Barossa in the 1880s, went farming in the Mallee. Yeah. Perilla, to be more succinct. Near Lameroo. Not sure why. It didn't rain, dusty, dirty, dry, lots of flies. Right. Crazily, my father and my uncle decided to plant a vineyard. Right. Middle of nowhere, right? Middle of nowhere. Yeah. And they handed me the keys to run it when I was about 15. Right. And do you reckon I knew what I was doing? Yeah, do you think I knew what I was doing? No. But it got me interested, right? Yeah. And I didn't do a worse job than my father, so that sort of worked out okay, right? And but it was a pretty light hurdle. And so that got me interested. And soon after, I went to Rosewood Agricultural College. I know it, for those who I can tell lots of stories about that. Yeah. We can go all night. Great place, great winemakers there, colleagues and friends and other viticultural sort of agricultural minded people. Yeah. Guys like Reed Bosworth from Kaysler. Of course. And even through that time, Peter Gago from the Mighty Penfolds was there, and the guys from Molly Duker and Fiona Donald from Sydney. Lots of wonderful people. Yeah. Got imbibed in the wine industry. Got to understand it a bit from the characters who loved more, work further in. Yep. Started working not long after that, a little bit of break long after that with Orlando Wyndham. Yep. Wanted to do my own thing, right? Wanted to do my own thing. Yep. But I wanted to be a grower because I had the farming background. Wanted to be a grower. I wanted to use irrigation because I was sick of it not raining down there in the Mallee. It was just too tough, right? Yeah. And so that's why I asked all those great friends of mine, where should I grow the best, find the best reds in the Barossa? And They said, go to northwest Barossa, Seppeltsville, look for those Terrarossa soils, those beautiful red, brown earth over the limestone.
Yep.
Go there, you will find the prize. And that's what we did. Bang.
Simple as that.
Simple as that. Then knocked on the door, or found a property, the exact one we wanted, with the soil and the map.
Yep.
Knocked on the door.
This is at the library. This is these sort of
At the
maps.
library,
Yeah.
1950s they did that.
Yep.
Found the owners of the property, knocked on the door, old lady came out, asked for it to speak to her husband. Wouldn't get me very far now.
Yeah.
So I would be walking around with a blood nose. Very sad. And she teared up because her husband had just died, right? So that wasn't great.
No.
But anyway, it was too big for her. She said, anyhow, long story, win there. Planted from scratch. And that's when we used, I was a big fan of using a lot of people a lot smarter than me.
Yeah.
That wasn't hard to find, by the way.
Fair.
Not hard to find. And we used some great viticulturists, Di Davison was there,
Yeah.
Pikey, Andrew Pike, he was brilliant, and
Yeah.
Gibbo, they all helped out. And
Yeah, right.
we mapped out the property, lots of different blocks, tried to get the blocks to be the same within the block,
Yeah.
but variation between the blocks.
Right.
Now, I didn't think it was that important at
Yeah.
the time. I thought, they told me it was important.
Yeah.
Not till now I realise how important it is, because that's how we've got these wonderful single block wines, and then we can blend blocks together. And so it gives Andrew and his team just an amazing amount of blending capability.
Of course. I guess this is a good opportunity. Obviously, we're here with Keith Hentschke, the owner and founder of Hentley Farm. The next question I actually have for you is kind of around the actual vineyard itself and how you actually came up, because there's some very specific varietals that are actually planted here on the side. How did you come up with the varietal split specifically, if I can ask? Because it's a lot of people ask this.
Yeah. I look back, and it was probably one of the hardest decisions to make. Right? The only comfort I had is I'd already had a track record of making a lot of mistakes. So if I made a few more, it wasn't going to be the end of the world, right? But it was a bit daunting to think you want these vines, the little babies, to last for 100+ years.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go broke along the journey. So it was pretty tough. So we sort of came back to, but it tells you a bit of a story about Hentley Farm, right? We came back because to the premise, let's plant what grows well.
Yeah.
Right? So we're production-driven winery. You're not trying to please the world and grow something that the world wants. Maybe that era was soon the era of Sauvignon Blanc, right? If we reacted to that, we'd be planting Sauvignon Blanc. So we didn't do that, as you would notice.
Yeah.
In fact, I think you should go to jail for. Not very good, I'll say that.
I'll keep a clean record, hopefully.
That's a bit extreme. So come on. So obviously Barossa Shiraz had a track record of people's was already somewhat famous. Nothing like as famous as now.
Right.
But so it's like that was known as being producing of world class.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Yeah.
Cabernet Sauvignon was planted reasonable amount here. Let's do that.
Yep.
Grenache. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's
Made very
follow
differently, obviously, back then.
Have we come to Zinfandel later? No. But I decided to plant that anyway.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we'll get to that. But yeah, and it just made sense to really go heavy on Shiraz.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, Grenache wasn't that popular back then.
Yeah.
But right now, I tell you what, I'm very happy we planted Grenache.
Absolutely. With the recent success of the 2018 Old Legend, of course, as well. But I guess this is a good segue into our next wine, of course, for those who are joining us. Obviously, we're here with Keith Hentschke, our owner and founder. We're going to move into our next wine, which is, of course, the Zinfandel. Now, a bit of contention perhaps around this, I'm not necessarily sure, but it's an interesting varietal nonetheless, and otherwise known as Primitivo. It's also made very differently over in California. What made you specifically decide on Zinfandel? Well, actually, before that, let's have a little try of the Zinfandel, if that's all right. And just anything particularly that you would like to chat about. But there is a question here as well, is there as well? I believe, just to be a bit louder. Okay, fair enough, no troubles at all. Louder it is. We've got the Zinfandel obviously here, which has this beautiful sort of savoury difference to what we were looking at beforehand. Why Zinfandel? Tell me about your thoughts on the 17 vintage.
Yeah, let's start with something. I'm getting a bit of pot puree there, Nick.
Totally.
Getting this herbalness.
Yeah.
and I'm getting out. I'm not sure if you got much lawn. You got a new place, so I'm sure.
I do. We haven't done the lawns just yet. We're getting there.
Go and get the lawnmower out.
Yeah.
and have a bit of grab the cut grass,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And hold that to you, then have the Zinfandel.
Yeah.
And you'll be going, cut grass.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what kind of grass, but but typically cut grass. I get a lot of cut grass.
Sure.
And to me, some of the doesn't come with every vintage, but some vintage, bang, we got the cut grass going. So I just love the complexity. But the thing I love about this one, the Zin here and the Barossa, we've got that beautiful richness of flavour, haven't we? Too. We've got the Barossa warmth that generated that generosity of fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't got that big alcohol that's going to blow your head off.
Of course.
And, we're coming back to the wine. I thought that come 2010, that the world wasn't going to drink Shiraz anymore, potentially, and particularly Barossa Shiraz.
Yeah, right.
It was going to be passé.
No.
So I said, what do you do? Well, perhaps we should back ourselves in another angle. Perhaps, why don't we plant something else?
Mm-hmm.
And I was hunting for different varieties. And I'd had a Cape Mantel gin, thought it was great, from WA. Mm-hmm. Had a couple of California zins. And not that I want to be derogatory to California zins, that they were big, they loved the hang time, leaving the grapes on the vines for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I taste their 18% wines and I go, oh, gee, that's a lot of alcohol I can taste. Yeah. And there'd be a bit of a gap in time and then be flavour. Mm-hmm. And I went, well, you know what? How good would it be if we could get the sensation of tasting the wine, the alcohol and the flavour to be twined together? Wouldn't that be cool? So they're together, so they're blended. So I thought, well, okay, let's do this. So why don't we then plant the Zinfandel where there's not hardly any soil, like rock grown, and as part of the property, fundamentally was never farmed before, it was too rocky, no soil, and the viticulturist Di Davison, God bless her, brilliant lady, told me not to plant anything there. Not anything.
Nothing at all.
Okay. I don't think she said don't plant weeds there, like it's so bad. Definitely don't plant vines. Right. And I said, yeah, thanks Di for that information. And I said, I think I'm going to plant the Zinfandel. She said, don't plant vines, definitely don't plant Zinfandel. You put it out 5 years.
Right.
Well, 23 years, well, in fact, 2 years. And Di's still there. They're still there. But what I was trying to do is starve the vine of moisture. And so it starved moisture, it naturally produces smaller berries. And then, therefore, you get more flavour from those small berries without having need to get overripe and build the sugar up to get the ripeness and therefore the alcohol. That's the theory. Well, I reckon that works. Yeah. I reckon that's testimony in a glass that we've got worked out the balance between ripeness, hence alcohol, and flavour.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, if you've just joined us, obviously we're here with Keith Hentschke, our owner and founder of Hentley Farm. We're just having a look at the Zinfandel. Keith, how long would you be aging something like this?
Well, that's a good question. Zinfandel typically don't age it.
Yeah.
Go home, drink it now, right? Gulp. Look, our zins tend to age exceptionally well. Yeah. And I ran across one guy, I can't remember where he's from, might have been from the States, been drinking a lot of zins from California. Yeah. And he said, Keith, I don't know how to explain this, but your zin is an aging zin. I've only had 1 or 2 other examples of aging zins in the world. It's one of them. Now, this is where you need to ask that to Andrew. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't have the answer why. It just does. Well,
okay. Because in the spirit of obviously going against the grain a little bit, talking about the vineyard beforehand and Di's advice not to necessarily go. There seems to be a bit of a theme here, Keith, because there is word on the street out there that certain people in the business have aptly named you a lunatic. Who are you able to confirm who this is?
You sound so exact that it's one person, right? And what I like to, which I'm bewildered by, because my suspicion is there are many people think I'm a lunatic, and that said person could be just one of them. Okay. And it's been called that before. I wonder whether you might be hinting towards the story of the beast, right? And so let's take the journey of the beast, right? Yeah. It wasn't quite the normal textbook way of doing it. So to wind the clock back, before Andrew, we were using great winemakers, but they weren't Hentley Farm full-time employees like the brilliant Andrew. And so we'd go to them with ideas and whatever else. And we had a vineyard manager called Big Kev,
Yeah.
North, right?
Yeah.
Him and I were brilliant together. So Big Kev was an action man,
Right.
and I was more the procrastinator and the thinker. And so we sort of tended to work together.
Right.
Every now and then I've got some more stories on that.
Yeah.
we can get to. And somewhere along the line, but we weren't winemakers, right? But we knew sort of what was going on. Somewhere along the line, Kim and I had heard enough that the way to make super quality wines was to give them a lot of new oak. Now we love French oak, right? Big believers in French oak, more subtle. It's not like that big sledgehammer American oak. We love French oak.
Yeah.
And often we knew that the percentage of new French oak was often a terminator to help get the structure of the wine and turn it to a higher quality one. We had heard somewhere
Yes.
that some crazy person was making wine by double new French oak in the wine. So I'm not sure who thought I was a lunatic. Certainly the accountant was absolutely convinced I was a lunatic.
Yeah. Keith, we just have a question over here really quickly.
So just a couple of bits and pieces of what people are drinking at the moment. Ironically, across both Instagram and Facebook, there's lots of people commenting in what they're drinking, but there's actually two of very much of note. One's a 2009 Creation, and also and then a 2009 Zinfandel.
Okay.
So yeah, quite some aged wines coming in from some of our members joining in and watching in. So yeah. Back to you guys.
Perfect, thank you. Some double oaking.
Double oaking.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm sure if you did a survey of winemakers in the world now, that would be considered crazy. And certainly, but it worked though, right? 2003 vintage. This was first off the bat, right?
So this is the very first vintage.
First vintage off the bat.
Okay.
It's double new French oak.
Right.
Believe it in new French oak for a year. Pull out, put a new French oak again. Just happened. 03 was coming off a drought. A super concentrated wine.
Yeah.
Did the job right.
Yeah.
So Big Kev and I thought we were pretty clever after that.
Right.
Parker gave it 95 plus points, and we could not believe it. Right.
Yeah. Right.
Could not believe it. But as Andrew would point out, that's not the smartest thing you do in life. That's not the way to make wine going forward. So anyone who's had an 03, there's not much of it.
Yeah.
But I think it's a cracker. Andrew, I'm sure believes it's very good, but I suspect he'll suggest there might be some other better vintages out there. So we don't do that double oaking anymore, much to the delight of Andrew, who wouldn't do it himself, and the accountant.
Yeah. So I guess the thing for those who are obviously just joining us as well, we're speaking with Keith Hentschke, our owner and founder. Obviously, we're renowned as a business, as an estate for meticulously planned sort of single vision style wines. But obviously we are in a position as well where we're very well renowned for our award-winning restaurant. I believe there's some interesting stories around the restaurant specifically, or how that sort of came about. Are you able to share any of those with us?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And let's just talk a bit about it. So we, this is a journey, right?
Yeah,
it's such a journey.
Yeah.
And, I think I mentioned at one time that, when we started this, I had some experience, I was getting elsewhere, but we were pretty unconfident and didn't know really what to do in this whole wine space. So we've just been taking little mini steps along the way.
Yeah.
And the whole restaurant game, I know nothing about restaurants.
Yeah.
Well, maybe do know a little bit now, but certainly did know nothing prior to opening here. But you know what, we found that when we opened the cellar door, and those people obviously been here, beautiful old buildings. I love old buildings. And to bring them back to life was really rewarding. So we did that, and we noticed that our customers were really enjoying coming to see us, talking to us, tasting our wines. Great team like you, Nick, telling stories. Customers love it, right?
Thank you.
And we thought, well, how can we just have more fun with our customers, have a better time? What could we do? Well, what we didn't have was food. So let's provide food. Now, the dilemma you have for producing wines at the level of our reputation, we had to be high level. So that was when we took the view, let's do it, but do it at a high level. Because we know nothing about this. And I remember the first enlightenment to the fact that we were swimming in a different pond that I was used to was when I did a press release to say we're going to open a world-class restaurant. And it was an Australian, and they sort of made a comment like, who is this bloke? Well, that's a joke, how does he think someone can start up a credible club? And so I was like, yeah, surely. So then it became apparent, so we were so fortunate to get Lachlan at the time, back in 2011.
Yep.
He's obviously a genius when it came to cuisine. He was a young whippersnapper.
Yep.
And we've just then worked together to create this phenomenal restaurant experience,
Mm-hmm.
which now, dare I say, the COVID has been a great opportunity for us to reset, rethink, and you know, some people say, well, you know, how could you possibly be better than what you do, right?
Yeah.
In terms of total on-site experience, food and wine.
Mm-hmm.
And what we sort of mapped out was, you know, I'll tell you what we may be missing is actually merging them together more often.
Yep. Okay.
And so we're kicking off shortly on June 6th with what we can taste wine again.
Yeah.
We can all taste wine again. At the moment, we just show you bottles and wave and say, here, this tastes great. But we can taste wine again from June 6th. So we're kicking it off.
Mm-hmm.
And on the weekend and Friday, we're going to be having, you know, we're going to have a sample of food from obviously the kitchen of Hentley Farm, the cuisine.
Yeah.
So we're going to have some more casual food available, starting to merge that into the experience.
Which was huge last week, actually. We're going to come back to this in just 1 second because there is a question up here as well.
Yep, so we've actually got obviously today, guys, we've got the tasting pack that people are following along with, and we've got a couple of people mentioning that they're really enjoying the wines.
Yeah.
One particularly is Janet Bonner here in South Australia, one of our clone members.
Hey, Janet.
She is enjoying both the Hentley Farm Shiraz and the Zinfandel, so that's a good credit. And that's it, yep.
Excellent, no worries. So coming back, obviously, Lachlan last week gave us a little bit of a sneak peek into this sort of new frontier off the back of all things pandemic, I guess. This is exciting to hear, I guess, from yourself as to what we're going to be doing to merge those together. Is this something that, you know, how do you feel this is going to be for the next little while?
Oh, and just watch this space. You know, we're finding our way, right? We're evolving.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a great thing about, I think the great thing about all of us, human beings, we've learned that things change. Right. What we did last week might be completely different to what we do next, and that's fine, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to evolve. We're going to evolve our way through the next few months until we get a bit more clarity, until we know what's going on. So we're just going to start. We're going to wine tasting, and a bit of food on the weekends. Maybe then expanding that a little bit more.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we still see the fine dining part of Hentley Farm there as well. But you probably see there's a good chance to be a couple different offerings. Okay. And our vision is we're going to be better than what we were before.
I love that. That is awesome.
So we're all excited by that. You know, we're just taking this to the next level.
I love it. And speaking of the next level, Keith, this is where it's going to get a little bit crazy, okay? So if you've just joined us, we're here with Keith Hentschke, our owner and founder, obviously, of Hentley Farm. There's going to be into a quick fire round. But before we get into that, there is a question which is ready from Angus.
Yeah, we also do have another one of our members who's joining in, saying he's got a couple of smiley faces there with salivation coming out of them, and he's referring to the wines, of course, alongside them. And this is the one and only Eddie Betts is obviously supporting us here tonight on Instagram. Yeah, so on to the quick fire questions.
Absolutely, on to them. So, you ready for this, Keith?
Go for it.
Okay, start the clock. How old are you, and how old do you feel?
I almost feel like that you get the answer from a chick, don't you? When you're I'm going to refute it. So I know. I'm glad you didn't say how old did you look.
No.
Look, I feel pretty young, right?
Yeah.
And I feel pretty young. I think I'm in my 20s. I feel in the
20s it is. Question 2. Favourite winery location in the world outside of the Barossa Valley?
Tough call. I was in Bordeaux last year. Gee, I love that place. Yeah. I just love that place. But I love Tuscany too. I was in both. Oh, yeah. I'm going Bordeaux.
Bordeaux it is. You can drink only one Hentley Farm wine for the rest of your life. What would it be?
I can drink Bordeaux.
Good choice.
No, we're going to run out. We don't make enough of it, but still, that's the problem.
Okay, number 4. Out of the following Australian animals, which do you feel is your spirit animal? A kangaroo, B, a wedge-tailed eagle, C, a wombat, or D, a dingo?
Am I allowed to answer this by what I'm called the most? I reckon we're going dingo.
Dingo it is. Next question. What food do you dislike most?
I'm going cucumber.
Cucumber?
Oh, look, I've been to China, so I eat eyeballs, I eat everything.
Yeah.
I've probably eaten bat, but they haven't told me. I've eaten
Cucumber?
some really bad stuff.
That's surprising.
It's just fun. It's just not me, right?
Rumour has it that you hate sharks. Can you confirm or deny this?
Yeah, I reckon if one was really close to me, I'd hate them more.
Yeah, of course.
I haven't had that experience that I'm aware of.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
Fair.
Not a fan. And we watched Jaws. I was growing up. I'm sure how I was, 8, 9, and that music. When I'm in deep water, I can hear the music. It's not good.
When will the 6-star luxury hotel on the hill be in operation?
I think when you help me fund it.
Yeah. And
I'm
last
sure
question.
you work out a way. We love it. I mean, that's a dream.
Yeah, it's a
But
good
the
dream.
good news is,
Yeah.
the great news is our neighbours might be doing something across the road.
It's been, yeah.
And that might take a little bit of pressure off.
The heat,
that
yeah,
dream.
yeah. Last question, who is your current mentor, if you have one?
Well, I'm trying to work them out, right? Ali's a big mentor to me.
Or
I'm
Ali,
sure
if you're
you'd
watching.
A mentor is someone who keeps me in line. I suspect that keeping me in line is more important than the mentor, or they sort of dovetail them both.
Fair, very good. Quick fire round over. Another question over here.
Yeah, we've got a really lovely comment here from Brenton Ford, who also supports Hentley Farm very much in the trade, but also he said he enjoys a 2016 Clo Otto in Port Augusta last night to celebrate 40 years of the Davies families in the Western Hotel. So definitely enjoyed that wine there, the 2016 Clo Otto. So that is still being drunk around the place, and also have a story here also related to Otto, which we may not have time for, but I do have one here. A question to you, Keith. Do you feel like telling the story of Otto? But we may save that for another time.
Unless you wanted to squeeze in just a little snippet of Otto, not the whole story.
Oh, I don't think I've heard the small snippet.
A small snippet, right?
Yeah.
So you know that dear old Otto, old German bloke,
Yeah.
arrived here, Ali and I looked over the fence in 1997, he's
Yeah.
running around with a grey trench coat.
Yeah.
And being a farming lad from the Mallee,
Yeah.
made me pretty nervous.
Yeah.
But my mum had told me, beware those blokes, when you go to the big smoke,
Yeah.
beware those blokes wearing the grey trench coat. So that was a little bit of a problem. But gained enough courage to go and talk to him and realise he was just a wonderful German man, right? He
Yeah.
just, I guess he had the jacket for a reason. Anyway, so there's all sorts of, I'll tell the deeper story about him, but he planted these vines, old clone, amazing flavours, and he turned it into his own wine. We don't tell much story about his own wine, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what he did, but he was ahead of his time, right?
Yeah.
I think he had a hipster feel about him. Like,
Sure.
I think he thought he looked like you.
I'll
He
take
looked like
it.
you. So this 7-year-old bloke
Yeah.
thought he looked like you. Talk about what you feel. He looked like you, right? And certainly didn't have the man bone going.
Sure.
But he had this whole, I think this naturalist, so he grew the vineyard, it was all organic.
Yeah.
He made his wine, I think like he was an orange winemaker, right?
Right.
He was a natural winemaker.
Yeah, right.
And so that's when he would bring a jug of wine
Mm-hmm.
into Ali and I.
Mhm.
And fortunately, we lived on the property. Great thing about the house we had 2 doors.
Right.
So we would see Otto in his little jug of wine that I don't know how he could bugger up amazing grapes, right? But he did buy that. Nothing against orange winemakers,
No, of
okay?
course.
But not for everyone.
Sure.
So whatever he did, he didn't do what we liked.
Yeah.
And so we'd see me, we'd run out, Ali and I'd run out the back door and make out we went home. I know, sad, Otto, not around now. I never got to tell him that, but maybe his relatives would have taken it back. So yeah, so Otto, brilliant grape grower.
Yeah.
Not so brilliant winemaker.
Well, Keith, thank you so very much for obviously joining us today for episode 4. The exciting part is, of course, for those who are part of the tasting pack selection and the experience that we've been on. In 2 weeks' time, it will be with Andrew Quinn, our winemaker, of course, again to show beauty and beast. But the great exciting news is we're going to be open again for tastings, just to reiterate what you were saying before, from the 6th of July. June.
Let's bring it
I'm
forward.
running ahead. 6th of June. Can't go that far out. 6th of June, we're going to be there at this cellar door doing tastings again. Keith, thank you so very much. It's been an absolute
thanks.
pleasure. Thank you for the storytelling as usual. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed yourself. We are really pumped to do next time. Guys, have a beautiful weekend from all of us here at the farm. Cheers to you.
Cheers.